All right, so I said I would make a video next time I made a bow so that you could see how I did it. So here we go. I used the Bowdabra. Really, you just need something because I'm not good enough with my hands to keep it all together. So the Bowdabra is great for helping you have an extra hand or two when you need it. So we're going to use two different types of ribbon on this one. This Christmassy ribbon and then this gold ribbon, because the Christmas ribbon has a gold in it, and I think these two will look really pretty together. So the supplies you'll need to be able to do it, or the supplies that I use, are obviously your ribbon, a zip tie. I get these little packages for $1 at Dollar Tree, and a pair of scissors. And my husband made me this really cool block. It's just a wood block. It's pretty heavy, and it's got a hook on the top, or on the front, and it's got a nail on the top, and that is so that when we go to arrange the bow, we can spread it out easily without much problem. So we'll get more of that when we get to that point. All right, so I'm gonna pull out enough of the ribbon to make a tail. I don't measure. Obviously you could measure and it would probably look better, but I don't seem to have much problems. So when you're using one-sided ribbon, you have to twist your ribbon each time you go to the other side. I'll show you what I mean. This is one-sided ribbon here, so we'll do it with this one. This is two-sided ribbon, meaning it looks the same on both sides. So we don't really have to twist this one. So we're just gonna slide it in, and the Bowdabra will keep it in place there for us. And then we're gonna make a loop. And I usually make it, I just kind of eyeball it, but you could, like I said, you could measure it. I usually come about this far off the Bowdabra. So that's, I don't even know how far, I have a ruler here. Let's see how long that is. It's about 5 inches. 5 inches. And so we've got one loop. Now we're gonna make our other loop on this side, and we're gonna make sure it matches at 5 inches. So we'll just measure that too. Need a little bit more. And that's about 5 inches. So they're same on both sides now. And we're just gonna keep going. I'll probably do 3 of this gold color. Oh, I didn't mean to twist it. 3 of the gold color. And now that you have one on each side, you can really just make sure that they align again when you come back to the side. You don't really have to measure them again. All right, now that we've got our third little loop in there, they're all the same length. I'm just gonna pull this down here and cut this off. And we'll move on to our next ribbon, which this one is one-sided, so we'll have to make a twist. So this is what I was talking about. So this is the top, this is the good side of our ribbon. So we're gonna take the tail just like we did the last time, but before we put it in this little notch of the Bowdabra, which is what's holding this all in place, we're gonna twist it. So you wanna twist it so that on the other side, our loop will be right side up. So we twist that and stick that in there. And now our loop will be the right way. So we just pull this back over, and we can use our same guide and make sure they're just the same length as the other ones. Now we're going to want to twist this again. So twist it, and that's again so that the right side will be facing up when we get over there. And then come to this side, and we'll get out here. We'll do 3 of these as well. So twist it, stick it in there. And twist. Again, you don't have to do this if you have double-sided ribbon, like if it's 2-sided ribbon, you don't have to do this. It's only if it's 1-sided ribbon, meaning that if they look different, if one side looks different than the other side, if you can tell that there's one side that's supposed to be the side facing out and one side that's not. 2, so we need 1 more on each side. Twist, stick it in there. And then, now on the last one, since we know this is our last one, we don't have to twist it because we're already facing the right way and we're not making another loop. So we'll just stick it straight in there this time. And then make sure you leave plenty off for your tail. So I try to cut them about the same length as the others. We'll get them evened out though here in just a few minutes. Okay, so now I push down on this in the Bowdabra because it's got it all, it's holding on to it all in the center, right? That's what it looks like. So I just push down on this and I get my zip tie ready, and I'm just going to pull this out easily and bunch it up with my fingers so that I don't lose that center point, right? That's the center point right here. And you want to keep all of that together. And then we're just going to run the zip tie around it and zip tie it in place. And we're not going to pull too terribly tight yet. We're going to pull it somewhat tight, but not as tight as it can go yet. Okay? And that's because we still want to be able to work with it. And now we're done with the Bowdabra. You can also use your hands to do that, or I'm sure there's probably something else you could use that's maybe home or that you have at home or whatever. They're not that expensive. I think I got mine at Michael's several years ago, and they're not very expensive. That just seemed easiest for me. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on my little hook here because I want to spread out my bow now. And then we can take one of these up here, or we can pull this little guy up here to keep it pulled separate a little bit. And then we'll just start pulling him apart. And it's not just about fluffing up the loops. You want to also pull them where you want them to live so that you don't have all the same one in just one little place. This way they'll be split up a little bit more. On this one particularly, I wanted the red, the pretty red to be on the top and the gold to be kind of underneath. So that's why I did them back and forth. But you could alternate putting your ribbons in like I did. I did the same ribbon 3 times and then another ribbon 3 times. But if you wanted to mix them up more, you could alternate putting the ribbon in the Bowdabra, and that would give you more flexibility to be able to move these even more, move them around even more. But we're just going to fluff him up. And now when we take him off of here, we want to make sure that we pull that zip tie as tight as we can. Pull this one over here. So right now it's still really easy to work with because We haven't pulled it super tight yet, but we're getting ready to. Because we don't want them to slide right back into where the natural places they want to fall. So we fluffed him up. Then you're going to obviously fluff him up even more whenever you get him on wherever he's going to live. But for now, this is pretty good. All right, let me show you what I've got. Let me take him off of here. And now we're going to pull our little guy super tight, little zip tie, super duper tight. And then we can take our tails, and I like to pull them all together, all 4 of them together. There we go. One, two, three, 4. So I've got all 4 of them together, and I'm just going to line up the seams. And then I'm going to fold it over. So I've got them all 4 together, lined up, and I'm going to fold them over. Right at the top here. As close as I can get them, the seams aligned, because this is going to make the tails look even when we cut them. And then from the middle out, we're going to cut a diagonal. So we're going to cut from the middle out to the ends at a diagonal. And then you have your perfect tails. And there's your pretty bow. And then you can get him all straightened out even more whenever you put him on whatever he's going to live on. And if you want a fuller bow, you can do longer loops more and longer loops. That'll give you a fuller bow, but this one looks pretty good, I think, for what I'm doing. Pretty cute. Hope this helped.